So you can put in your city or the state you're joining us from. People from Odisha, Dehradun, Shantini from Kolkata, Bangalore, Karnataka, Maharashtra. That's great. So let me introduce myself. I am Akshay Badkar. I represent Simplylearn, and I am joining in from Bangalore, India today. Odisha, Bangalore, Riyadh. Great. We have an audience around the country as well as global audience today. It's good to know. Andhra Pradesh. Great, great, great. See a lot more people joining in. I would request all of you to tell us where are you joining us from. So welcome again. Welcome to our webinar by Simplylearn today. Today we'll be discussing about how you can discover your road to a major career break in 2024 with the IIIT Advanced Cybersecurity program. We have Dr. V. Sridhar with us today. And before we begin, I would like to quickly set some ground rules. I would request all of you to post your questions in the Q&A box. Please avoid putting them in the chat box so that we don't lose track of them. So I would request all of you to post your questions in the Q&A box and we will be addressing them by the end of the session. Yes, the session is being recorded. So you can expect a follow-up email with the recording link and a webinar certificate along with the bonus offer in your email after the session. I would request all of you to fill in the post-webinar survey and add your details so that your webinar certificate as well as the webinar recording link is delivered to your email as soon as we finish the webinar. To begin with the agenda, we will be discussing about cybersecurity careers in 2024, what the IIIT Bangalore program offers, and how this program can get you job ready. And also, I will be taking you through the enrollment steps for this program, as well as the Q&A session at the end of the session. Let me start by introducing Simplylearn. Simplylearn is world's #1 online bootcamp. We have providing training services and professional courses in different fields, including AI, machine learning, data science, business analytics, cybersecurity, project management, DevOps, software, and so on and so on. So we have helped about 500,000 careers at once, and we have been training people from across 150 plus countries. We have about 40 plus global accreditations as well, and we have about 800 plus active qualified trainers working with us. Today, we have, before we begin, I have a quick poll question so that to understand the experience level of our audience today, I quickly launch a poll. I would request all our participants to punch in their responses. We may be currently studying 0 to 3 years of experience, 3 to 5 years of experience, and more than 5 years of experience. Great, I can see the poll moving. I would request all our participants to punch in their responses so that we have an idea of what our audience is today and we can tailor the session accordingly. I'll keep the poll open for another 5 seconds. I'll request all of you to punch in your responses. Thank you all. I'll quickly share the results. As I can see, about 40% of our audience is currently studying. 28% of our audience is in 0 to 3 years of experience. About 8% of our audience is in 3 to 5 years of experience, and about 25% of our audience is more than 5 years of experience. That's great. Thank you all for your responses. To begin with, I would like to introduce our guide for today, Dr. V. Sridhar. He is in charge of the continuing professional education at the International Institute of Information Technology, Bangalore. He's an author of 3 books on information and communication technologies. And I would request Dr. Sridhar to please introduce himself.
Thank you, Akshay. So first of all, welcome all of you to this particular web by IIIT Bangalore. no IIT. It is IIIT, IIIT Bangalore, and Simplylearn. So we are the academic partners for this particular program, and we are glad to partner with Simplylearn in offering this unique program to all of you. You'll hear more about the different topics and career opportunities after doing this particular course. So before that, I just want to give a short introduction of IIIT Bangalore. Over to the next slide, Akshay. I think there is a slide on, yeah. So we'll come back to that. In general, IIIT Bangalore focuses on information technology, and we also offer the MTech program and the integrated MTech program at our campus in person at the institute. So we are only postgraduate institute. We are deemed university, and therefore we are one of the higher educational institutes with an NAAC accreditation of A+. So having said this particular information about IIIT Bangalore, we have been offering the advanced executive program in cybersecurity for the past 2.5 to 3 years. I think we started it just when the COVID set in. We at IIIT Bangalore and Simplylearn offer this program together. My internet connection is unstable. Are you able to hear, Akshay? Is that okay?
Yeah, there are slight breaks in between, but overall it's good.
Okay. Okay. To give you the context, the cybersecurity attacks have been increasing over a period of time. You must have known about very, very infamous attacks which have happened over a period of time. For example, the one that basically put the whole hospital system at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences last year out of operation was a cyber attack. Since the information security systems at AIIMS Delhi was not properly configured, and it was not the vulnerabilities did exist in the system, that cyber attackers attacked the information system, and in fact leaked a lot of personal information, personal health information to the public domain. So this was one of the major attacks. It took roughly 2 to 3 days for AIIMS to recover from this particular attack. Now, off late, we have been seeing a lot of ransomware attacks. Ransomware attacks or attacks which basically impede the information systems and the operations of the information systems. And the attackers normally ask for ransom. They blackmail. And if the ransom is not agreed upon, the attackers do not clean up the ransomware, and hence the operational systems continue to face a lot of problems. Even when I was there in the US about 2 years back, there was a big ransomware attack on the gas pipeline which runs across the country in the US. So the Pacific Gas Company, which was running the gas over the pipelines, had sophisticated information systems which were attacked. And the gas distribution basically came to a standstill. And it took roughly 3 to 4 days for the company to bring it up to the operational level after paying a huge ransom to the cyber attackers. So today we are increasingly seeing the cyber attacks not only on individuals like you and me or businesses, but also on critical infrastructure that the country has. For example, we have critical infrastructure in power, gas, all these operate using some information systems and computer systems. And today we are seeing a lot of cyber threats for the information infrastructure itself. There have been a lot of attacks on the financial sector because most of us use digital payments, and there have been a number of phishing attacks. In fact, phishing attacks contribute to roughly 90% of the cyber attacks in the country. In fact, today it is there in the newspaper that in the city of Bangalore is the city in India which witnesses the maximum number of phishing attacks, especially in the financial domain. So phishing attacks induce the users to do certain things that you would not otherwise do, like, for example, sharing OTPs or sharing passwords, and it induces you to do that. And if you succumb to it, then it is possible that there will be, your financial accounts, bank accounts may be siphoned off. There are a number of cases which have happened in the recent past, especially in the financial sector. One of the important things about the cyber attacks is that if it happens, then the reputation of the business comes to a standstill. For example, Yahoo witnessed a cyber attack a long time back, about 2014, and a lot of personal information of the Yahoo accounts holders were put in the public domain. In fact, at that particular point in time, Vodafone was supposed to buy Yahoo, and just in one day after the cyber attack, about $350 million of the valuation of Yahoo was just wiped off. It was about to be bought at $1 billion, but finally it ended up being bought at roughly about $600 million. So $400 million loss to the valuation of this company. So reputation and trust of the company suffers because of cyber attacks. Now, as the cyber attacks increase in both volume and value, there have been a lot of regulatory challenges. For example, our cybersecurity regulations are being tightened to make sure that the companies, especially the businesses and government, put in a lot of security measures and safeguards to prevent evolving cyber attack landscape. So today, somebody was asking me in the morning, where would you put the cybersecurity courses that you run? In which domain does it run? Is it related to data sciences? Is it related to network communications? Or is it related to AI? It is a horizontal course, right? So this particular course is going to cover all the cybersecurity incidents that take place across different verticals, such as, for example, network security, application level security, social engineering attacks. It's going to also cover, for example, the security regulations, which have been sort of formulated worldwide in order to contain cybersecurity attacks, and so on. So it is a horizontal course using which you can get expertise in dealing with cybersecurity attacks, mitigating cybersecurity attacks. So if you're looking for a career opportunity in cybersecurity, this is the right time to pitch in. As we discussed, there are a lot of machine learning based attacks that are coming up, quantum computing attacks which are coming up. So we will be covering some of these in our cybersecurity program as well. Akshay, next one, please. So the market for cybersecurity has reached billions and billions of dollars. For example, today the organizations as well as governments have realized that investing in security is worth it. Previously they were thinking that, if I invest in security, what is the return on the investment that I will get? It is very difficult to compute, right? But today companies have realized that the investment in security is worth the salt, because if you don't invest in security, there are going to be huge repercussions in terms of consumer loss, reputational loss, decrease in valuation, decrease in revenue, and so on, right? And therefore, there is a huge opportunity for people like you who are going to learn about the difference, nuances of cybersecurity. Next one, Akshay. So the skills in cybersecurity, if you look at the latest World Economic Forum report, it lists the risks involved across the world. And the cybersecurity is ranked number 8 across all security risks, including war, cyber war, the actual, military war, and so on. It lists all those economic conditions, financial meltdowns. Of all the risks, cybersecurity is still listed as within the top 10 across the world. And therefore, the skills in cybersecurity is very important. These are technology intensive skills. And it is not possible for someone without knowing the nuances of cybersecurity to sort of position themselves. And this course is basically will give you all the skills that you need in the cybersecurity space. For example, threat hunting and incident response. How will you find out that a threat is going to happen? And how do you prepare a response for that, if at all it happens? Zero trust architecture. We cannot really trust anyone today, right? So we have to build a security architecture such that there is zero trust between all the stakeholders, so that it is actually vulnerability proof. AI and machine learning in cybersecurity. As we speak, the machine learning has evolved to a certain extent that security attacks using sophisticated machine learning capabilities pose serious risks to information systems. Identity and access management. How do you provide secure identity to individuals and users so that their information resources can be accessed appropriately, right? So, for example, one of the important cybersecurity attacks that happen today all over the world is identity masking, right? So basically you acquire the identity of an individual inappropriately and then access computer resources inappropriately and then use it in order to blackmail or steal the personal information and so on. So all these are very important, traditionally the cybersecurity was focused on networks, because networks are the systems that connect the computer system from one organization with the outside world. So most of the cybersecurity infrastructure and incidents management used to happen at the network layer level. But today, it is more than that. I mean, a lot of threats happen at the application layer level and so on. So we need a good vulnerability assessment mechanism so that the software is patched appropriately, so that the vulnerabilities are closed and cyber attackers will not be able to use this vulnerability in order to penetrate the system. We need a lot of black hat as well as white hat hackers. So to make sure that the zero-day attacks do not happen. We'll discuss in some courses what happened to Chrome. Chrome was involved in a lot of zero-day attacks. Zero-day attacks means that Google itself did not know that there was a vulnerability in their Chrome browser. And there were a lot of attacks which happened even without Google knowing about it. Sundar Pichai actually came out in open and admitted it, that we have had about 5 zero-day attacks in the year of 2023 alone, right? So these are the attacks which are very sophisticated, right? The cyber attackers, even beat Google, for example, right? So these are some of the things in which you have to get a handle on. Along with security, data privacy is also becoming very important. When there is a security attack, it is possible that the personal information, for example, in the Ames case, it was health information about the individuals were put onto the public domain. That's a privacy violation. Most of the countries have enacted, for example, the privacy and data protection regulation to protect the private information of the individuals. So these also pose severe risks to individuals and organizations. And therefore, a whole gamut of things that are put into this program to make sure that you understand this. Also, security standards. As you, for example, upskill and move towards information security management in your respective organizations, you also have to put in some standards. For example, ISO 27001 is a very standard mechanism by which you can actually put in information systems in practice and then so that it can be auditable, right? So these are all some of the hottest skills in cybersecurity space. And we want to prepare you for this particular journey. Next one, Akshay. So trending security career paths include security analysts. We're going to assess the threats, incidents management, and provide recommendations for improving the security in the organizations. Security consultants who work at a larger level, including framing of information security policies and then put in place security measures. SOC analyst, for example, incidents management is one of the critical things. For example, we have something called as Computer Emergency Response Team India, CERT-10, which provides updates on cybersecurity vulnerabilities. So there has to be a SOC for every organization to make sure that we analyze the incidences and then make appropriate responses. Penetration test, as I have discussed before, the white hat hacker or the ethical hacker is the one who does the penetration test to make sure that vulnerabilities are detected, and then we can patch it in time so that security attacks do not happen. So all these are potential job opportunities and career opportunities for all of you who are going to take the cybersecurity program forever. Yes. Next one, Akshay. So as we have discussed before, ransomware evolution, ransomware continues to, basically trouble individuals like you and me, and also businesses, as I have explained before. The continued adoption of AI and ML in the organizations provide vulnerabilities which are very difficult to detect and patch. And that is a very important opportunity for all of you. Regulatory updates, for example, a very important thing about the regulation is that if there is any security attack in your organization, you are requested to respond and inform the users as well as the appropriate regulatory authorities within 48 hours. Otherwise, in the EU, for example, you'll be penalized. The organization will be penalized up to about 2% of the annual gross turnover. That's huge for any organization. In India also, we have the Digital Personal Data Protection Act, which provides certain rules regarding notification. So as cybersecurity specialists, you also have to be constantly updated about the regulatory evolution that is taking place, especially in the area of cybersecurity. Next one, Akshay. Yeah, so as you know, the demand is present. The labor markets work when there is supply and demand. So the supply of sophisticated cybersecurity professionals is very less in India, right? India and also worldwide, it is very difficult to find out a cybersecurity specialist. While the supply is low, the demand for cybersecurity professionals continue to increase, as we have discussed in the earlier sections. So cybersecurity spans across organizations, whether it is a manufacturing sector, pharmaceutical sector, health sector, or e-commerce. Everywhere cybersecurity is important. And therefore, the necessity, the demand for cybersecurity skills is huge, and it is hitting a peak. So the supply and the demand gap is so huge that the expected salary of cybersecurity professionals continue to increase, as you can see in this particular diagram, right? So cybersecurity engineers, as well as cybersecurity consultants and managers, continue to witness this huge increase in the salary because of the supply and demand situation, supply-demand gap. And we hope, we really think that this is going to increase in the future. Of course, we are trying to ensure that all of you are in the supply pool, right? So that you have the necessary skills to go into the positions that are needed in the cybersecurity domain. So that is the place that we want you to fill in, and you will expect continued growth for cybersecurity professionals in India as well as worldwide in the years to come. Next one, Akshay. So almost having this is very short list, right? So almost all the consultants like Deloitte, Accenture, PwC are looking for cybersecurity consultants, Ernst & Young, and so on. All the cyber IT services companies such as data consultancy services, Wipro, Accenture, for example. TCS, Wipro, and others, right? In the Mahindra, so on. So almost all IT services companies, have to hire cybersecurity consultants. In fact, we closely deal with Infosys, which is just outside our campus, just opposite. We have very important connection with the data privacy office of Infosys. And this has been in existence for 20 years, you won't believe it. And the only job that they do is to protect the information infrastructure of Infosys, to make sure that privacy of the clients and security of the clients are maintained as much as possible. Right? So apart from that, we have telecom companies, just for example, Airtel, Argio, the telecom equipment manufacturers such as Nokia, Ericsson, all of them are into cybersecurity. You must be knowing that for some reasons, because of cybersecurity concerns, we have been banning in India certain, and also in the US and other places, certain companies, telecom companies, to put in the infrastructure for telecom of 5G and 6G in their respective countries. So this is going to be really a cause of concern. And therefore, all the network equipment manufacturers, service providers, even OTT providers, over-the-top providers such as WhatsApp, everyone needs cybersecurity professionals in order to make sure that the communication is secure and it cannot be hacked, and the privacy of the conversations is preserved as much as possible. So very tentative list, but you can list any company into this particular slide. Those who will be interested in hiring cybersecurity professionals like you. You are going to become a cybersecurity professional.
Thank you,
So
Dr.
I'll stop
Sridhar.
here for the poll, Akshay.
Yeah. So now that the audience knows the different skills and the career paths and how the demand is soaring in the coming future, I would quickly run a poll for our audience today. So what's really stopping you from becoming a cybersecurity expert? I'll quickly run the poll. Is it that you're not able to find a comprehensive curriculum? Is it that you're not getting enough practical exposure to become job ready? Are you finding it difficult to learn from pre-recorded videos, or your work schedule doesn't allow any time for learning? It's a multiple choice poll, so I would request you to punch in as many challenges you face in the poll so that we have a better understanding. You may be not finding a fully comprehensive program, or you are not having enough practical exposure to become job ready, or are you finding it difficult to learn from pre-recorded videos, or your work schedule just doesn't allow you enough time for learning? I would request all our participants today to punch in their responses. I'll keep the poll open for another 10 seconds so that all our participants are able to punch in their responses. You can still see the poll moving. I would request all the participants to punch in their responses. Thank you all for your responses. As I can see, that about 38% of our audience finds it difficult to learn from find a fully comprehensive curriculum. About 67% say that they don't have the practical exposure to become job ready. About 20% said they find it difficult to learn from pre-recorded videos, and about 45% say that their work schedule doesn't allow enough time for the learning. Thank you all for your responses. And Simplylearn and IIIT Bangalore has come up with a unique program, as we have already been discussing, to overcome all these challenges. And it's the Advanced Executive Program in Cybersecurity by IIIT Bangalore, along with Simplylearn, which has a comprehensive curriculum with an industry-aligned learning path. It has an integrated case studies and hands-on projects for your practical exposure. You will get a practical experience of what are the skills you learn in the program. We'll also be having online live virtual classrooms with peer and instructor interaction, and it's also flexible to fit your lifestyle and schedule. So in the program, if you invest about 10 hours a week, you'll be able to complete in the duration of 6 months. In the end, you will be obviously certified by IIIT Bangalore. You'll be getting the cybersecurity program certificate. You also have a virtual internship opportunity by NPCI, where you'll also be getting a certificate for the internship. The program also comprises of 8+ hands-on learning projects. As I already mentioned, NPCI certificate for virtual internship. We also have masterclasses from IIIT Bangalore and NPCI experts. And Simplylearn also provides with job assist career services. Uh, I can quickly hand it over to Sridhar. Doctor, you are on mute.
Can you go back to the previous slide, Akshay? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we have also tied up with the National Payment Corporation of India, which is one of the largest. It's basically a gateway for all your UPI transactions, and it is a pioneer in digital payment solutions. We have had some sessions done by the NPCI Security, Information Security Office, so that you will get to know about large-scale security infrastructure, and also everything, the essentials of protecting information security for digital payments and digital money and so on. It's very, very unique kind of offering from us. Of course, you will be interacting with the NPCI experts on certain unique issues which are facing the financial tech industry. So that's one thing. The second thing is that masterclasses. So we have, IIIT faculty have been giving this masterclasses. I'll just tell you a couple of things about the masterclasses. For example, we have world-class cryptographers in our faculty, right? You cannot get a cryptography class anything better than from IIIT Bangalore. So we have masterclasses delivered by two of our expert faculty on cryptography, which is very, very important for improving the information security, both in transit as well as at storage. I also teach a masterclass on cybersecurity laws and regulations. I'll cover basically the overall landscape of the regulations that govern cybersecurity and what, as a professional, you should know about the legal aspects and regulations around cybersecurity. We also have a faculty member in networks that provides masterclasses on network security. For example, as we move from 4G to 5G to 6G, we have a lot of network-based cybersecurity attacks that are possible. For example, in 6G, there is something called as a molecular communication, which is used for human body interaction with medical devices and so on. So cybersecurity attacks, if it happens in these systems, are going to endanger lives of human beings, right? So these are all the advanced topics in security that we cover. We have a faculty member who has extensive experience at Bosch, who discusses about the security in automotive and vehicles. For example, most of the vehicles today come with information systems, not only for performance assessment, but also for inter-vehicular communication, right? So, for example, you must have known about the self-driving cars, which basically are autonomous and they have a lot of AI, ML built into the information systems in order to navigate with a lot of communication happening to the outside world. And they are prone to cybersecurity attacks. So there is a master class on automotive security that we cover. Cloud security. So we have experts, faculty members who cover specifics relating to cloud security. We are also trying to introduce secure programming so that you will be able to learn how to code with security in mind. So we are slowly including most of these master classes so that you will get to know state of the art in cybersecurity. Okay, next one, please. Yeah, so this is a brief overview, and that's a picture of IIIT Bangalore. And if you're in Bangalore, you're always welcome to visit our institute. So we are deemed university, and as we have discussed before, we have an ranking of A+, and we are glad to partner with Simplilearn in offering this particular unique program. So this program will consist of a lot of video lessons which have been prepared by the IIIT faculty. We also have sometimes live sessions, masterclasses, as I have discussed before. These are all live sessions. And as Akshay mentioned, we take into account your timeline because you're all professionals. Therefore, you have regular working hours. So most of these classes will happen in the evening time, like what we have now, 8 to 10 in the evenings or during Saturdays and Sundays, so that you'll be able to attend these classes. The eligibility and prerequisites, it's an advanced executive program in cybersecurity, and therefore we expect that The incoming learners will have a bachelor's degree with at least 50% or higher marks. This is as per the regulations that we need to comply with as a university. Minimum of 1 year of experience is required, and basic understanding of programming concepts is very much required. Of course, we will, Simplylearn has a lot of tutors and mentors who will guide you if you have any problems, and therefore you don't have to really worry about it. But these are all prerequisites, and those who have absolutely no programming background have to do a lot more hard work in order to come, move with the cohort. Yes, Akshay?
So we'll quickly run through how this program prepares you. I would like to request Dr. Sridhar. I think we've already discussed majority of it, but just quickly you can take us through these steps.
Yes. So the orientation session for the advanced executive program will begin, and then we cover basically 4 areas, right? So enterprise information security, which is about protecting the enterprise architecture of the business organization. So our focus here, because you're all upskilling, you want to be working in a company. So we don't really cover a lot of aspects of cybersecurity incidents which are targeted. Of course, we cover to some extent, not much on cybersecurity attacks and cybersecurity measures targeted at individuals like you and me, but the cybersecurity attacks and incidences that happen on business information infrastructure. So enterprise infrastructure security is one thing that we cover in detail. How to put in infrastructure elements, security elements within the enterprise, network elements, virus walls, firewalls, and things like that to make sure that the enterprise information is secure. Applications and web application security. So all of the applications, mobile applications, and also web apps have security issues. There are a lot of vulnerabilities that are detected in the applications. So there's voice is not is okay, Akshay?
It's a bit low, but we can hear.
Yeah. So so as I've discussed before, initially the security was focused on networks, but today more and more application level incidences do happen. Application and web app security is the second module that we cover in detail. Third one is ransomware and malware. Of course, you might say that ransomware is targeted at individuals. No, as I've discussed before, the ransomware are also targeting huge business organizations, right? Including, for example, infrastructure companies. So malware analysis and ransomware analysis is part of the third module that we cover. And the fourth one is vulnerability assessment, penetration testing, which is required for incidents management. So you need to analyze whether there are vulnerabilities present or not. The only way to do it is to do a brute force hacking, right? So ethical hacking are introduced in this particular module so that you do vulnerability assessment and then you do penetration testing, right? So for example, there is a security infrastructure, but it may have some holes, right? So only if you penetrate that you will know that a hole exists, and therefore that is a vulnerable point, and therefore we need to take some measures, including improving cybersecurity elements, or for example, patching this particular hole so that the vulnerabilities are stopped. Vulnerabilities are detected, improved upon, so that security attackers will not be able to find a way into the information infrastructure of the businesses. These are all some things that we do, and as we discussed before, we are also looking at a short internship, virtual internship with the National Payment Corporation of India, which will basically discuss about the huge SOC. They have a security operations center in Mumbai, which basically looks at each and every UPI transactions, which are like millions and millions of transactions that take place along the network every minute, every second, for example, every microsecond, for example. So SOC, enterprise security, and very specific security measures for digital payment services will also be discussed as part of this particular course. Apart from that, there are electives. For example, I specialize in cybersecurity governance framework. So there are a lot of videos about cybersecurity governance, the laws and regulations around cybersecurity. There is also cloud security and some of the certification programs, which will lead to certain certification programs, will also be discussed as part of this course. And the standards governing payment cards, and specific standards with respect to ISO and BIS will also be covered as part of electives. Yes, Akshay? Yeah, so there are a lot of tools which you will use. For example, the Kali, Linux, and Ubuntu are the basic Linux platforms that you will use for most of the course. And there are vulnerability assessment tools, penetration testing tools such as Nessus, and these are some of the open source and other proprietary tools that you will use in order to actually get some kind of a hands-on experience. Someone asked about in-person classes. So we have not yet opened up in-person classes for this particular program. Maybe in the future we'll do that. But most of the tools will be available for you so that you can have a hands-on experience on using this particular tool in order to detect cybersecurity attacks, vulnerabilities, and then take some appropriate measures. Internship, as we have discussed before, the internship program is tailored so that you can have you can mimic the real life business scenarios, including maintaining large scale security operations center, dealing with millions and millions of transactions, especially the sensitive financial information and so on. So there are projects which involve real world data sets, and you have the tools as mentioned before, so that you can use the tools in order to have some hands-on learning experience. Akshay actually underestimated that it is going to be about 10 hours per week, but I would say that it can go up to 15 hours per week of time that you have to spend on this particular course so that you can get the maximum out of this. Yes, Akshay?
Yeah, so I will quickly take you through how the Simplylearn community supports you. So we will have a program manager who will be taking care of all the standards we deliver and how IIIT Bangalore helps us with all the post delivery. We will also have a cohort manager who will manage each cohort and each batch so that all of the batch members are on track to complete the course on time. We will also obviously having the curriculum and the resources at your disposal where you can watch the recorded videos and also attend the live classes. We will also have learning teams and peers where you can interact with your peers and have your doubts resolved. We have a community where you can post your doubts and get it resolved from instructors as well as your peers. And obviously, we have some of the top instructors from IIIT Bangalore who will be guiding you throughout the program. These are some of the global leaders who will both be your program advisors. Obviously, Dr. Sridhar is there, Professor Srinivas Vivek, and Professor Chandrasekhar as well, apart from others. Simplylearn also provides job services by IIM Jobs for Indian learners. This program you will be getting access to a job portal where all the jobs listed for in the cybersecurity domain will be listed. You are free to apply for as many as you want. We will also help you with resume review and rewrite services where we will be reviewing your resumes and helping you improve them and helping you land that dream job interview. We also provide one-on-one interview services where you are subject matter experts will be taking your mock interviews and helping you by giving you constant feedback, and which will help you improve your interviews in the future as well. So now that you know what all entails in the program, what all you learn, what are the skills you'll gain, what are the tools you will have access to, I would like to run a poll again. If you are interested in enrolling for the Advanced Executive Program in Cybersecurity by IIIT Bangalore, quickly run the poll so you can punch in your responses. Now that you have a clear idea of the program, if you're really interested, please punch in a yes, and our team will get back to you at the earliest. I'd request all our participants to punch in your responses so that we have an understanding of how many people are really interested to take their career forward in the field of cybersecurity. I'll keep the poll open for another 10 seconds before I close it. So I would request all of you to punch in your responses. Thank you all for your responses. I'll end the poll now. As I can see, about 72% of our audience is already interested to enroll for the program, and that's great news. I'll quickly run you through the enrollment steps for this program. There are three simple steps. The first step, you need to submit an application. For that, you just need to send an email to us, askus@simplylearn.net. It's posted on the screen right now. Ask us at simplylearn.net. Please send in your emails with an application that you want to enroll for the Advanced Executive Program in Cybersecurity. Our team at IIIT Bangalore and Simplylearn will review your application, and once your background and your educational qualifications are verified, we will be sending an admission letter, the last step. So once you are receiving the admission letter, you will be uh, inducted into the cohort. Coming to the program fees and schedule, the program is priced at 1,54,999, inclusive of taxes. We also have some EMI financing options as low as 5,275 per month. Let me remind our audience that each cohort has limited number of seats. So I would request you all who are really interested to enroll for the program and get your cybersecurity career started to enroll immediately. So we can get started. Those who are interested, the next cohort induction session will be held on the 15th of December this year, which is in a week's time, and the classes will start on the 20th of Jan next month, 2024. If you have any kind of need any kind of assistance regarding the pricing and skills and or enrollment, you can always reach out to us at askus@simplylearn.net. So I'll have a quick another poll. Uh, how soon do you plan to enroll in the program? You can be immediately, within 3 months, within 6 months, or more than 6 months down the line. So this will give us an idea of how many people are really interested to get started. I request all our participants to punch in their responses. I'll keep the poll open for another 10 seconds. Thank you all for your responses. I'll end the poll now. Coming to the question and answers, we have a couple of questions, Dr. Sridhar. So we have one question. Yeah.
Akshay, I went through it. A couple of questions there,
yeah.
About the admission process that
Yeah.
I want to clarify. Some of you have asked, I am a student, can I enroll in this particular course? No. The minimum criteria requirement is graduation, any discipline. Unless you have, because we do what is called as the verification process, right? Once you submit the documents that are required, we do the verification as per the regulatory requirements, and the minimum admission criteria has to be satisfied. So unfortunately, those of you who are students may have to wait for some time before starting our program. Now, the other questions that were asked is that I have an experience in another discipline, not IT. It is okay. You may be in the supply chain and you might want to discuss or know more about supply chain cybersecurity. You are welcome to join our program. So we do not have any specific domain expertise which is required for joining the program. So for example, you have to have just the graduation and not necessarily computer science or information sciences as a prerequisite for this particular program. The third is I'm taking a break from a career, and can I join? Of course, these courses are meant for upskilling and cross-selling, right? So that you can actually do an upgrade in your existing job, or you acquire this particular different new skill and cross-skill into cybersecurity area. So these are all some of the questions that I've seen in the chat box that I wanted to answer. Apart from that, Akshay, do you have any?
Yeah, so we have a couple of questions in the Q&A box. I'll quickly run you through. So we have a question. How it's different from people choosing data science or analyst in recent days, and what is the cybersecurity field or domain which is in the most demand in the coming future, do you think?
See, let me tell you one thing. Data, if you look at data science, the orientation is towards analysis of data. If you look at AI and machine learning, the analysis is towards building algorithms which can basically learn from data and then give you some meaningful predictions. Cybersecurity is across these domains, and therefore I would say that you cannot really compare cybersecurity with the data science or AI/ML. It requires a different skill set which is contemporary and which cuts across the domains and cuts across industries. That's what I would say as the differentiating factor of the cybersecurity program from the other types of programs such as AI/ML or data science. And what is the other question, Akshay?
So what do you think is the most demanding skill in cybersecurity, which is going to be the future, you think?
Definitely penetration testing, vulnerability assessment, incidents management, or some of the things that businesses require so that you can proactively counter any cybersecurity attacks. Cyber forensics, unfortunately, is mostly not done by businesses. Of course, they need to sort of, once the incident has happened, what has led to that particular incident is discovered through cyber forensics. So normally this is very, very specialized. So this is, you require very highly skilled manpower in order to do that. But I would say that most of these things will be about, for example, security consultants who prepares information security policies for the organizations, security architects who built in security into the business, information systems, white hat hackers who do penetration testing, vulnerability assessment. These are some of the broad areas. And with respect to the domain, I would think that definitely financial domain, banking, finance, and insurance sector is the one which requires a lot of cybersecurity professionals. Apart from that, manufacturing, electronic commerce, or some of the other sector, healthcare. Healthcare is becoming very, very important in today's cybersecurity landscape. So these are some of the domains. If you have experience in that particular domain, this will be a good opportunity for you to upskill into cybersecurity.
Thank you, Dr. Sridhar. So we have one last question. Do you think AI can take over cybersecurity jobs by learning all the skills?
No. So definitely AI is used in cybersecurity tools, right? So today, for example, if you look at the cybersecurity incidents which have happened over the past, 20 years, it is possible that AI will be able to sort of forecast what is the next possible security incident and where it is going to happen. So these are all predictions which are provided by AI. It's called AI security, right? So which means that AI is being used as a tool in order to predict the security attacks of the future. So that domain is going to explode like mad, right? Because as we speak, we have a lot of data about past incidents. Can we learn from the past incidents? Can we forecast security incidents of the future is going to be one area, but that requires a lot of expertise in AI and machine learning. So we will use tools, AI and machine learning tools in order to forecast cybersecurity incidents and then do vulnerability assessment and then take proactive measures. So this course will not really teach you AI security, right? We will only use tools in order to discover certain patterns of cybersecurity. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Sridhar. That's all questions we have for today. I would really appreciate your help for today and staying with us today. I would also thank all the participants who joined in today and were able to get some insights from our session. I have one last goal before we end the session. If you need any kind of assistance with the enrollment process, I would request you all to punch in your responses. If you need any kind of assistance with the enrollment process, please punch in a yes. Others who have understood the enrollment process, you can quickly send us an email at askus@simplylearn.net to send in your applications. And those who have punched in a yes, you can expect a call from our team at the earliest, and we will help you with the further steps. I will end the poll now. And I would like to thank Dr. Sridhar for being with us today and giving us such an insightful session. And I hope all our learners were able to gain some insights about the IIIT Bangalore program in cybersecurity. And we would love to see all our learners join our students community soon, and we will see you on the other side. Thank you, Dr. Sridhar. It was an honor having you.
Thanks, Akshay. And thank you very much for joining this particular webinar, and wish you all the very best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you all for joining us today. Have a great day and see you on the other side. Thank you.